Welcome to my channel. Apologies for delay, Scorpio, in getting this reading out to you. So this is only just going to be for the last week, and so it'll be just a really quick synopsis. I have pulled out a few extra cards here just for clarifiers, which you'll see in the reading here toward the bottom. This is actually sort of the group. So this is the card. These are the clarifiers surrounding it here. Clarifiers. These are also clarifiers here. Anyway, just the general synopsis for those that might be new to my channel. Normally I have a larger layout. I do longer reads. I just want to make sure that I tap into as many different angles or perspectives of your energy as I can. But for this reading, as I say, it's a shorter time period for Scorpio, April 2020. So I'll just try to recap it in a simplistic way. So from what I was able to glean from the reading here, Scorpio, and again, these are just clarifiers here. Just wanted to quickly point that out. So what I was able to glean from the reading here is that you're somebody who's quite loyal and dependable, and you do the right thing here is what I'm getting for the month of April. And it feels like a lot of juggling was going on here for the month of April. You had a lot on your plate. I did feel that you sort of fell into some overindulgences here, which sort of fall into this category here with the devil and that kind of thing, and some stagnancy. But you were happy. It was a good period on some level. There was also some preceding energy, in the earlier parts of April that spoke to you having made some really good decisions, in terms of business, and that there were some rewards coming through that, will play out as the months roll on. But for sure, most of what I see here for the remainder of April is just about you trying to get back into gear again. So it looks like you're going to start doing some kind of planning here and recommitting, but you're still in relax mode is what I would say. There was a couple of cards that spoke to, which would be the Eight of Swords, and not only was it just noted in the one deck, but I also used the Impressionist Tarot, which was also the Eight of Swords coming through. So you had that energy a couple of times. But eights are also about, getting out of, you're feeling restricted, but it's really a self-imposed kind of prison of sorts, or, feeling vulnerable of some sort, or maybe confused, or just feeling trapped here in this last week about maybe what you need to do. You're I feel that you're in some period of, I don't want to say that you're not able to move ahead, because clearly, you have moved ahead, but you definitely have some of those indulgences, I think, that are playing out and weighing in on your direction. So it's not that you have a lack of direction, but I just feel that you're just in a period where you're, trying to figure out what your next move would be, basically. So you're just trying to refocus, recalibrate, that kind of thing. The next card following that was the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is, generally, it's an excellent card in terms of money. It does speak to affluence and wealth and the good life and enjoying happy life and that kind of thing. But I pulled it with a clarifier with the Hierophant here. So because the Hierophant is involved here, I did feel that, and again, that's a Taurus energy if there is somebody coming through around with that energy, but it's also about more of a sense of duty here, about doing the right thing. So for the month of the remainder part of April, I feel like you're doing the right thing. You're trying to move things ahead. You're going to have to try to start back with some planning, as I say, because you are juggling things over here, which I guess that's not a card that's visible, but you have the High Priestess with the Two of Pentacles. So definitely grounded energy in terms of money. There's lots of money coming through, or lots of cards that speak to, getting back on task with money. So I mean, you've got the Ace of Pentacles here toward the end, things opening up and moving ahead. And again, there is possibly some contracts or partnerships or something coming through here as well with the Two of Cups. There might have been some kind of a loss or a hard win as well toward the end. But anyway, going back to the Ten of Pentacles and the Hierophant, as a combination, the card, as they say, can speak to you searching for some sense of meaning in your life. So I don't feel that you have let everything go, and you're trying to abandon your current desires or vocation, it just feels as though you are trying to figure out a deeper sense of a deeper connection to what you're doing so that it has more meaning for you. So something in the way that you were doing it maybe isn't it was too conventional, maybe too systematic. And somehow that's, again, with the quarantine, of course, it's been disrupted for many of us. But I feel that, you're, even though you're comfortable, I feel you're sitting back and you're trying to find a deeper sense of meaning, period, in your life. And it may not be related to your work. It might be something a little bit separate, compartmentalized from that you're dealing with. But I do feel overall there is some deeper meaning that you're searching for here. But again, and it definitely affects your happiness, your overall, level of contentment. And certainly it can speak to, affecting your money as well. But overall you have actually been able to, create some pretty good foundation for yourself is what I'm seeing here. So even though you're not in that place right now of moving it ahead yet, because as I say, I feel like you're in the overindulgence mode still, but you are going to have to try to get back to some sense of planning here. With the Three of Pentacles, you are aware of your potential. You are a master craftsman of some sort, with whatever it is that you're doing. I do feel that, it's just an indication as well that because there's a cup that's coming through here, this is the divine offering you more. And this is also a period of growing in terms of your feelings. It's also speaking to becoming more expansive and growing emotionally. So I feel that's really more so what's going on here. You are being told to change your perspective, or it is through this change of perspective and certainly being patient that the divine is able to be there with you. I feel that you're being guided there's an angel around you as well with a Temperance card. I do feel that, you feel a lot of burdens or there's been some level of overwhelm. And I feel the responsibility has very much been on you, for the month of April. But with the Knight of Cups coming through, I don't feel the Knight of Cups is necessarily speaking to a person. I feel this is actually more related to just the message coming through itself. But the Knight of Cups, as I say, is just, it's an energy of, living your soul's purpose and your desire and wanting to understand something, and you're not settling for the status quo. You actually want something that is inspiring here with this card. You want to let go of old ways and old modalities, not necessarily giving up on what you're doing, but reinventing it in some new way. With the tens, it's also about new beginnings and endings. So it's the end of that cycle of the way that you were doing things and trying to move ahead in a more, you've already created your foundation, but moving ahead in a more, and you're grounded, it's just moving ahead in a way that has a deeper sense of a mission, is how I would express that for you. And of course, with the Wands energy coming through, the Wands are related to that energy and that fire and that spark and that inspiration that's coming through. And again, it's the Page of Wands is meaning something is still in its infancy here with this new sense of thinking here and finding your deeper purpose. But definitely it's a good news card. I mean, it does speak to, finding that passion, developing some kind of a philosophy around your life now and delving closer to spirituality. It's a card, it is a messenger, as I say, about moving into that new direction. Again, I don't feel that you're shifting out of what you're already doing. I feel that it's more that you're just looking for a deeper meaning in it and still searching for new opportunities with this thing that you've already been doing. But again, it's something that's coming through that, you're also needing to communicate those ideas. But again, it's a card that also speaks to stop procrastinating. So again, nurture that potential that you have, and it's a card of optimism as well, as is the Sun. The Sun is also a card of being optimistic, getting ahead, going ahead, and things are going in a good direction. I don't feel that, the month of April was, I mean, it may have been a hardship in that you were feeling overwhelmed with tasks and things to do, but I don't feel that it was anything beyond your capability. I feel that, you handled everything fairly well, actually. And again, considering a lot of the responsibility was on you, speaking to a few of the cards here, because you also have another card that is the Ten of Swords below, which is right here. That's the Ten of Swords. And that card is also, again, tens are beginnings and endings of cycles. But with the Sun card, again, it's about being confident, communication, moving forward. Things are being illuminated now. But again, even though it is still that card of, still you've reached some level of success, you've got some sense of who you are, and there's recognition that has been bestowed upon you, I guess, as in maybe previous months here. It is still a card of accomplishment, but now you're kind of indulging in that accomplishment here. So even though you may be sharing this and there's some kind of reciprocity, and you're definitely not being selfish with your stuff, whether that's your emotions, your time, your money, it just feels that with the devil energy, you could still be, worrying about something and have some limiting beliefs. Could even speak to a bit of addictions here. But I do feel you're being told to, get out of this stagnancy now, and it's time to get back to work, because you've been indulging a little bit too long here. You've been trying to figure out your, kind of your next move. I don't feel that you necessarily started planning it just yet, but I feel that that's the direction that you're soon to be headed in. And again, I feel like even just overindulgence, overly dominated by that, by a pattern of restlessness or boredom or stagnancy. But again, you've been able to give back, but with the High Priestess and the Two of Pentacles, I feel there has been some juggling going on here with your sense of purpose. And again, I just feel that you felt a little disconnected here. I feel that you are adapting here, though, toward the end of April, in this last week here, you're finding a way to adapt with that Two of Pentacles, even though you've been juggling a lot of things. Things might have been feeling a little impossible to devote your full attention to, and you start to wonder whether or not you're making any progress. And sometimes we need to actually process life, meaning stepping back and, realizing, yes, we might be sad because of a loss, or yes, there's been some distracting illnesses or distracting activities or things that have slowed us down, so we haven't been able to progress. And we've kind of run into this period of indecision about going forward. But again, I mean, with the Pentacles, it is about manifesting things, and you do have a fair number of Pentacles still, in this reading. So I feel that you're still pretty grounded. I feel that you're still able to move things ahead in that, and make it manifest in the physical world. So your goals are maybe not being fully met here, because you are still juggling a little bit and still stagnant, slow down mode. But you are, and you might be feeling a little bit mad at yourself for overindulging, and maybe enjoying that view too much, and you just, anyway. But the way out of that basically is just set a course, a plan of action, and because I feel you're going to get sick of that period of sitting around anyway. It's good to be, because stress is also another distraction for us, right? So I feel that you're going to be getting out of this pretty soon here anyway. In this last week, you're just dealing with that. So, again, with some of these cards here, these are just clarifiers for the Five of Swords. I don't feel this was a really tumultuous time or anything necessarily toward the end. I think you're just making a decision, hard win. You've got to get back to the grind. It's a slow-moving energy with the Knight of Pentacles that you're getting back to, making that money. And you're, again, you've been in a period of trying to figure out not who you are, but just how to find deeper meaning in some spiritual sense or on the work front. But either way, you've been trying to find some sense of a deeper connection there. And it is with the Pentacles, it's a slow moving energy. You know, you're still hardworking, you're determined to get ahead. You know, there may have been some kind of a loss here with the Ten of Swords as well as with the Four of Cups. There may have been but you are still quickly going back to the Knight of Pentacles. You know, you're embracing those potentials, and you're still responsible, and you're still being faithful, and you're getting on with the job. You know, you're somebody who is, you know, you're just really determined to complete something here. You have a mission, you know, is what I feel that you were trying to derive from the earlier part of the week there. You were trying to figure out your mission, and that may have actually spoken to more of the earlier parts of April as well. But you are on this process of reinventing yourself, getting rid of the old and kind of moving ahead with, it's not a complete transformation necessarily, but again, it's just about finding deeper meaning. Again, with the Four of Cups, you know, it's an emotional time, you know, when you go through a little bit of a transition here, you know, so I do feel that, you know, with this card, I think you're starting to focus on what you can do now, you know, with your skills. I think you might have been being a little bit stubborn. You didn't quite have a clear answer here yet, but you are coming out of this with the Two of Cups. So, you know, it is kind of a surprise gift as well that's coming through with this card, as well as the universe helping you along to discover this. So again, with the Two of Cups, I feel that you are honoring some kind of new beginning, you know, some kind of new mindset that's coming through. You might also the card can also speak to combining resources, and that might be why we've got the energy of the King of Pentacles here. But it is an opportunity to build on something, you know, to move on to a better position financially. So whatever this resolute decision you've made, you know, and again, the Two of Swords can also speak to that decision. But there is some kind of, can be a contract, you know, something about you trying to come to some kind of understanding within a contract as well, so that it's balanced and fair. That kind of thing could be, you know, related to friends as well. But it is a card that's letting you know, I mean, you're meeting your financial obligations, and you're also moving into this, you know, this new beginning. It's a card of protection as well. And yeah, so moving on to that, and again, with the King of Pentacles, you're still in that grounded energy. You're still in control of your finances there. It can speak to a person, could be you or someone else, but it can also just speak to generally in a situation. You know, this is a long-term stable energy. It's just bettering yourself. You know, it's a traditional person, somebody that is just hard at work. You know, paying things off, seeing things through to the end. But again, you know, if it is somebody that's yourself or another energy around you, can speak to somebody who has the power and the discipline to create that wealth and that riches and that stability. And again, coupled with the Two of Cups, a really good combination to, you know, reinforce that. But again, it's, you know, you're starting to research with this kind of a card, or planning a strategy for growth. So it is about reaching goals, and again, seeing things through and being proud of your achievements. But again, if it's an energy around you, of somebody coming through, you know, things are still on the upswing. You know, it's an enterprising, you know, card of entrepreneurial, you know, energy as well. But it's just that somebody who is of higher social status, that's reliable, business leader, you know, stabilizing, practical, that kind of person here coming through with that attitude. So either way, some kind of a business leader here. And again, it is leading to ultimate, these are clarifiers, happiness, you know, on your home front, as well as, you know, a good strong foundation with the Four of Wands that's coming through there. So this is, again, just all toward the end of April. You've kind of reset, recharged, and you're ready to move ahead. And again, with the King of Pentacles, you know, you've got a really strong, very strong foundation to establish these structures for that happy life. So it's about celebrations and blessings and things coming through. You might even actually have some celebrating going on here, because you do have, this is cards of celebration as well as mastery with the Three of Cups up there, but it's also about celebrations and celebrations in your with your craft. There again, that recognition that's coming through, because you also have the Ace of Pentacles. So again, just a stable energy overall. Somebody's just still really stable, even though you felt that you had a lot of things going on for you. But, it is inspiring. And again, with the Ace of Pentacles, that is also the card of kind of getting back to the grind, so to speak, down to earth, materialistic, seeds to success. It's really going ahead and getting those projects going. So end of April, I feel you are ready to go ahead. And it can even speak to an unexpected lesson coming through at the end of the month here for you. So in terms of feelings, it's really speaking to those new beginnings and you're ready to receive. But in terms of money, it is a little more geared toward, you've got the power to continue going ahead with what you've got, as well as, gaining some rewards for it. So again, it can speak to some unexpected monies or something coming through, or a blessing of some sort that's coming through toward the end of the month. So anyway, just as a quick recap there, and as well, I'll just quickly mention, I did pull a couple of Archangel cards. And, with the Three of Gabriel, it was also prosperity arising from wise planning and time to take the next step, optimistic plans that turn out as expected. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think it's really something I need to go into too much. But again, like with the Three of Gabriel, I mean, you're really at a time where you've made some good choices and things will start to come in for you now with this card. And just to keep your enthusiasm high, you've done well so far and there's really no need to worry. Everything is moving as it needs to. Even if it speaks to some kind of investment, there's something that's coming through. You just need to have some patience with that. And then with the Seven of Michael, there's a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the best answer. Review all your details. So again, maybe that Two of Cups really did speak to something along the lines of a partnership or something you're considering, maybe a joint venture in something. But, it's also, Seven of Michael speaks to, what am I really trying to accomplish here? So again, it's a card of going over the details and, just keeping a heads up with this card and, and still moving in the direction of success. So there can also be something going on here that meets more than meets the eye. But overall, what are you trying to accomplish? What's the point of what you're doing is really what I feel you're going through for this last week of April. So anyway, last two cards I'm just going to quickly go over for the Phoenix and the Lion. These are toward the back there, and the Lion and the Phoenix, Phoenix of course is kind of rising, being prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. So for sure we were all kind of going through a bit of a leveling out there, but it's the card of letting you know you're representing power and prosperity in all areas of your life, and just to get ready for the new and the positive and to emerge, shine your light and move into this place of meaning, both in your relationships for business as well as personal. Your relationships are stronger now and you're embracing this new chapter in your life, and you've got, a balanced commitment here. In terms of money, it's, an excellent card about remaining positive. You've made a lot of the necessary changes and you're still making those necessary changes for your finances to improve, but your creative side is coming out here. And maybe even some talents that you didn't know that you had are starting to emerge with this card. With the Lion card, this is an energy letting you know that you need to harness the loyal protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. So that's what the card says. But it's really about you continuing to be brave and fearless and loyal to your friends and those that you love, and you're continuing to gain respect. So, your emotions sometimes can be a little bit out of control, and difficult people can come out of the woodwork here, to engage, but really don't let things get in your way. You're king of your castle, so to speak, and you're on a mission to get to where you need to be. You've got dreams. You're a survivor, and things are moving in your direction. So really, overall, I just, again, just felt that you were moving in a direction where you needed to feel like you were reconnected and had more meaning or purpose to your life, whether that was, through business relationships, friendships, that kind of thing, but spoke to some form of relationships here. I felt that you were going through a period of overindulgence here, maybe overeating or, over drinking, whatever, being a little bit lazy. But again, you were trying to find some kind of a balance, and again, still looking for some sense of mission with these cards. And I did feel that you were overcoming that, because you did have the Ten of Swords here, speaking to you overcoming this, as well as a bit of a hard win here. So it's hard to leave something that's a comfort zone, but you're getting past it. And again, moving on to these new opportunities with the Ace of Pentacles. So until next month, have a great April.